I'm just checking. Okay, we're live.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we're going to get started with county first. I don't see Melissa here, so Matt, do you want to? Oh, let me do quick script. I'm sorry. We're using Zoom webinar for meetings, which allows us for the public to participate in the meeting as an attendee. Attendees must register to participate. The registration link is unique to the meeting. Everyone registered online. They'll be an attendee. They must use their name when they come on. Attendees will join in listening mode. I'll call on you when you have your digital hand raised. I'll try to keep an eye out for you. And it looks like it's just us, but if Melissa does come on remote, then we'll do everything by roll call. I think that's it for that. Matt, you want to do county?
You got it. First up is elections of officers. So do I have any nominations?
Nominate Melissa Murphy for chair.
Is there a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That's unanimous. Co-chair, I nominate, you want to nominate?
Sure, go ahead.
Nominate Brooke.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next thing is approve of minutes and warrants.
Well,
Actually, Brooke would take
moves
over.
Moves over to Brooke.
There you go.
Oh, great.
You didn't think about that.
I did
better.
not think about that. So trial by fire, everybody. Okay. So let me just make sure. Announcements. Do I announce that?
Yep, you just.
This county commission meeting is being audio and video recorded. Next item on the agenda is public comment.
I don't see any hands up online.
None?
Okay, seeing none. Any new business?
No.
None. Okay, next up is approval of minutes and warrants.
Approve both of those.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And appointment of county representative to Nantucket Planning and Economic Development Commission.
All right. Do you want to do it, Matt?
I don't really want to do it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've got my hands full with
Okay.
coastal resiliency and the other stuff. So
And I believe Dawn said that she would be open to it if nobody else wanted
unless
to.
Brooke, you're
Unless-
interested.
No, I'm,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
if
So,
Don wants to do it, that's great.
so Don it is.
Okay.
And that doesn't have to be formally, no, because that's
No.
just by consensus, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Excellent job, Brooke.
Why, thank you.
Okay, we'll call the order of the May 25th Select Board meeting to order. No changes to the agenda that I know of. Do you just want to run through announcements, or Erica,
Sure.
you want me to?
Give me one.
First one is Select Board meeting is being audio and video recorded. Next one, Erica is going to take us through. The Select Board is accepting applications for annual committee appointments. Information on seats available can be viewed. Okay, that's all. A couple links there in the agenda. And then,
You want me to run with it?
yeah, you're going to go through the announcements
Sure.
or the applications?
So, just to make everybody know, we've done the deadline for the committee applications for the committees going A through F. So Agricultural Commission through Finance Committee. The deadline was last week, so those are that's closed. But all the other committees, H through Z, the deadline is Friday at noon. Sorry, I'm trying to share my screen and it's not wanting to do that. Come on. And then I'm going to read everybody's name if my packet will open up. It doesn't want to.
I see.
Sorry.
Erica, you're sharing the wrong screen.
Interesting. I see YouTube up on my screen on Zoom.
Yeah, you're sharing the wrong screen. Share to the next screen.
All right, I'm going to close this out for a second. Not sure what is going on. I need to find my packet. Here it is. Oh my gosh, how do I make it bigger?
The green arrow in the bottom right-hand corner,
Here?
I think so.
Okay, sorry. Seriously, technical issues. I still can't open the packet.
Do you want me, can I help?
If you, oh, somebody has their hand raised.
That's you.
That's you.
I didn't raise my hand.
Zoom gremlins, they are real.
You can just read them too. If you can't pull it up, you can just read them.
Okay. I'll just go to the paper packet. How about that? Okay, so for Agricultural Commission, we have 4 seats available and 0 applicants. So if anyone is still or is interested in the Agricultural Commission, please put your name in. Airport Commission, we have 1 seat available and 2 applicants. We have the incumbent Jeanette Topham as well as new applicant Walter Flaherty. For the Board of Health, we have 1 seat available and 4 applicants. And all applicants are new. We've got Ann Smith, Carrie McKenna, Allison Bold, and Richard Ray. For the Capital Program Committee, we have 1 seat available and 1 applicant, and that is the incumbent Stephen Welch. Cemetery Commission, we have 1 seat available and 1 applicant. That's Barbara White, the incumbent. The Coastal Resiliency Advisory Committee, we have 3 seats available and 4 applicants. And just a reminder, the board voted to make the Coastal Resiliency Committee a permanent committee. So
All right, I see our feed up now. Is Katie looking at it from? Oh, okay.
Okay, thank you. That's all right. Okay,
Okay.
back again.
All right, here we go.
Sorry about that.
So where were you, Erica?
I was at Coastal Resiliency Advisory Committee and how you
Yep.
had made it a permanent committee. So we've got the 3 seats, the 3 at-large seats, and we have 4 applicants. The 3 incumbents, Mary Longacre, Sarah Boys, and Joanna Roach, and a new applicant, Stephen Leinbach. The Conservation Commission, we have 3 seats available and 8 applicants. Marcia Brown, who is a new applicant, Maureen Phillips and Seth Engelborg, who are both incumbents. And then new applicants, Michael Mizzarelli, Joe Plandowski, Burton Balkine, Tim Brain, and Jennifer Porter. For the Contract Review Committee, we have 1 seat available and 0 applicants. I will note that the incumbent, Dorothy Hertz, had been away and missed the deadline, but she did submit an application. So I told her we would go into round 2 and hold her application for that. Council for Human Services, we have 4 seats available and only 3 applicants. Incumbent Tara Resteri and new applicants Jennifer Porter and Amanda Wright. I have not heard back from Ruth Tonico, but Joseline Ramirez did submit late, so she'll be in round 2. Council on Aging's 4 seats available and 5 applicants. We have incumbent Kendra Lockley, Arlene O'Reilly, who is a new applicant, Robert Kirkarve, new applicant, Allison Forsgren, who's an incumbent, and Laura Holden, who's a new applicant. Cultural Council, we have 3 seats available and 3 applicants, and they are all our incumbents, Justin Cern, Jordana Fleischa, and Sarah Ellis. And then Finance Committee, we have 3 seats available and 2 applicants, both the incumbents, Chris Glowacki and Jill Veith. Stephen Morey did respond, but after the deadline, and 1 or 2 other people I think also did, so that will be considered again during the round 2 for that 3rd seat. So later.
So how would that work? So the first round.
So the first round, it would be the 2 people, they would go forward, and then that seat that remains vacant would go into the next round of vacancies
That
that
makes
we
sense.
advertise and go through that process.
And do we have a timeline for that? I realize.
Not
we're in the
yet.
thick of it. Okay.
Not yet. I'll do that probably in June when I get that all squared away.
You got the next
Do you
one?
want me to continue?
go
So
ahead.
we are still accepting applications to fill a vacant planning board member seat. This is a full seat, not the alternate. And applications for that are due on Friday at noon. And then the board will be reviewing the applications. The candidates will have an opportunity to speak on their applications, and that appointment will be made by the select board and the remaining planning board members at the select board's meeting on June 22nd. The American Legion will be hosting the Memorial Day Parade again this year. It's going to be Sunday, May 29th at 1 p.m. I believe they're lining up down there around 12:30, and they'll be doing their march through town and out to the Prospect Hill Cemetery. Town offices will be closed on Monday, May 30th in observance of Memorial Day. And then I will hand it over to you for select board comments.
Thanks, Erica. Any select board announcements or comments to start the meeting?
Just one. Do we have a rep, an official rep to Historical Commission, or is that a show up if you want to rep?
So I actually was just speaking with the chair of the Historical Commission about that today. That is not a liaison appointment that's ever been formalized by the select board. Don Holgate had been going, but it was very informal. And to my knowledge, the board hasn't elected to make that a representative seat. I mean, if you decide to, just let me know and we'll add it on an agenda.
Sure.
Yeah, well, they've asked, I showed up. I'm going to try to show up when I can.
Okay.
Yeah. And if we want to make it an official, we can.
Okay. Thanks, Matt. All right, follow-up comments from prior select board meetings, nothing there. Any public comment tonight that's not on the agenda? Tucker?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Tucker Holland, Housing Director. I just wanted to share with the board that as of yesterday, all 6 towns on the Vineyard have voted overwhelmingly in favor of a transfer fee for housing or the housing bank. In Akina, the vote was 85% in favor, Chilmark 79, Edgartown 71, Oak Bluff 73, Tisbury 79%, and West Tisbury 78. So very much matching our own affirmation of the housing bank bill at town meeting this year, with where we got over 80% support locally here on Nantucket. And so I was in conversation with Laura Silber, who's the coalition coordinator on the Vineyard for a housing bank, and we thought it may be appropriate and useful if this board were willing to send a letter of congratulations to each of the towns over there, and maybe just state that you all are looking forward in working with them on advancing this legislation. And Laura and I would be happy to prepare something for your consideration.
It's a great idea. Thank you, Tucker. Okay, public comment. We have Mary Longacre. She has her hand raised.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Related to committee appointments, but not on your agenda, reflecting on my experience serving on committees, I think it would be helpful if each committee developed an orientation packet for new members, things like what bylaws might govern the committee, what enabling legislation might exist, the list of committee appointments that might have members sit on other committees, basic background information that would help a new member or anybody considering membership on the committee to have a good idea of what they were getting into and be informed to be able to participate from the start. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. Any other public comment tonight that's not on the agenda? Okay, we'll move on. Public Health Department, monthly COVID report update. Roberto Santamaria is here. Hey, Roberto.
Good afternoon. We moved to monthly? Oh, okay. Good to know. We've been in good shape. We did have a pretty significant outbreak over the last 2 weeks. We did have 80 cases in the schools. There was the sewer predictive response did show a spike, but the sewer report that just came out this week, or on Friday, I believe it, or on Monday, I believe it was, did show that the cases are going back down. So considering we didn't have any COVID related, what's that word? Helicopter rides, med flights, COVID related med flights, or any transfers, or even any hospitalizations, all that's telling us is that the vaccine is working. We are continuing to do the vaccination clinics. They're about once a month. We are coordinating with the state to do them. We do have one confirmed for next month. And you can always sign up for those at nantucket-ma.gov. Just click on the COVID or go to the COVID webpage on the Nantucket website, and you can sign up through there. We also hold the in-person sign-up clinics the Wednesdays before the clinic at the trailer at 131 Pleasant Street between the hours of 4 p.m. and 6 p.m. or 5:30 p.m. And that's really it. We're kind of hitting this groove. We're going to the status quo. We're entering the seasonality of it. If things go as planned, as usually they go, the summer will probably see a drop off of cases, and then we'll see another spike again in the fall. And that's probably the pattern we're going to be seeing with COVID from now on. And that's it.
Thank you, Roberto. Any questions or comments? Brooke, Matt?
I'm good.
Nope.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Gracias.
Have a good night. Okay, there's no new business that I am aware of. You get a motion to approve the minutes of May 18th, Treasury warrants.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any questions on the pending contracts? Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That passes. Citizen Department Committee request, Nantucket Conservation Foundation request for preliminary review of conservation restriction to be held by the Nantucket Land Council for land located at Smooth Hummocks. We have Cormac here. These are usually self-explanatory. This one's a little different because it's two conservation organizations doing this. But Cormac, if you want to.
Thanks,
Review it.
Jason. Cormac, Coller, Nantuc Conservation Foundation. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Perfect. This first step is just for your approval for town council review. And then the second step will be back before you again, as you know, for further questions based upon town council review. But this is a conservation area, piece of property that we have in the Smooth Hummocks area, completely surrounded by land bank. What the Conservation Foundation is planning to do is to transfer this property to the land bank. The land bank is going to be helping participate in a conservation purchase that we did in the Shakamo area, the Rosenzweig purchase, which you actually approved a conservation restriction on a few meetings ago, which was the remainder of the 20 acres we actually ended up purchasing out there. So the land bank will be ending up getting this property, the McKnight property. It's much more suited to their portfolio because it's completely surrounded by land bank land. And in order for us to transfer that to ensure the perpetual protection of the property, we wanted to place a conservation restriction on it, which the Land Council will hold. The restriction has gone through the state, and per the process that you have outlined, we are asking that you have town council review.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Cormac?
I move that we send it along for review.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, Cormac.
Thank you very much. Have a good night.
You too. Okay, Finance Department request to approve $7 million interim loan and bond and related agreements to be issued to the Mass Clean Water Trust for Surfside Road area sewer improvements. Mr. Turbot?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So I believe that Erica will put the vote up for the board. What this is the approval of the issuance of the interim notes and ultimately the approval of the permanent financing for the Clean Water Trust money that was allocated for the Surfside Area Roads sewer project in the amount of $7 million. The loan interim note and the permanent financing will both be at 0% interest.
Okay, any questions for Brian?
No.
Okay, is there a motion?
Motion to approve as written in our packet.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That motion passes. No, there's no town manager's report today. We'll move this to another.
Can I
Sure.
I do one note? I just wanted to put it on everybody's plate. I think I screwed up with the Cannabis Advisory Committee. We didn't make it a permanent committee. We extended the dates for 2 more years. And so I just assumed I wouldn't put it in because those people just roll over for 2 more years. But I've been getting a lot of applications in for it, primarily from the members, but I did get 1 new one. So I'm not really sure how we should handle that.
Do they have is there any seats open?
No.
There aren't any. So we'd have to do it next round.
Well, we kind of didn't really open up
And,
the
and,
seats
and I
because we
didn't, I
thought it was
didn't
ending.
advertise it, but I also didn't advertise the seats because, again, I thought it was just the same members were continuing. And no one had indicated that they weren't. So maybe I just tell the new applicant that the seats are full and we would just keep everybody who's there on. Or we can discuss it offline, but I just wanted to put that out there because in case anybody from the CAC was wondering why their
Yeah, let's-
names weren't read tonight.
Discuss offline, make sure what's the best procedure and
Yeah.
fairness, and everybody that's currently on it definitely wants to do it.
I need to double check to make sure they all are that I got them from all the incumbents. So I'll do that tomorrow.
Okay, let's double check.
It
that.
just struck me.
But if there's someone who's interested, it could be like BPAC, where they can show up and be involved and
Absolutely.
and just not
They
vote.
can go to the meetings
Go to the
and
meetings and get
participate.
involved and then apply next time, and someone will probably won't want to be there anyway. So I don't think it's a big deal.
Okay.
I think that's a good solution, Matt.
Yeah, I'd be curious what the select board members thought they were doing at the time, when it was extended, was that the thought that it was just an extension of the terms of the existing board, or?
We didn't really
Didn't think
discuss
about
it.
it.
We just
No,
kind of,
Yeah.
we didn't. And again, I just assumed we'd just continue everyone.
Yeah.
But I'll check in on that.
okay. So there's no town manager report. We'll move that to another night. Any select board reports, comments, committee reports? Brooke?
Why don't you go first?
Okay,
Okay.
I have a couple comments to report. One, I sent everyone from ICMA, a planning group, a rethinking revenue study that is sort of cutting edge, and they're using GIS and looking at how much it really costs. And I think I've been talking about everything at town meeting should go through a housing filter. I think all of our, I think we should be doing that through a cost filter. It's a lot more expensive to sort of go out in the countryside and lay pipe and do everything else. And so there's a lot of issues to it. But I think if you haven't read it, it's worth reading.
I did.
That's number one. The other one is, I think we've all seen sort of the restaurants and what's happening with, some of them are not opening, et cetera. I think I've been telling people they're the canary in the coal mine. Something is out of whack here. I believe it's housing, and something's out of whack. It's difficult to operate, more difficult than ever. I think people, as we're seeing, that you would never expect are sort of, leaving the business or selling their business, and the businesses aren't opening. I just think right now I think they're the canary in the coal mine because other industries are struggling too. They're struggling to retain employees, they're struggling to operate their businesses, and I think unfortunately where we're heading, if you sort of think ahead of what we'll have, I think we'll have a consolidation, and we'll have, we aren't going to have the mom and pops, and we aren't going to have, we'll have a bunch of food trucks, and we'll have a few large businesses. Maybe when Harbor Place is done, there'll be a bunch of big corporate businesses down there. But I think we're going to lose the fabric of what is part of what people come to Nantucket for. And if people, can't get restaurant reservations, or have to wait 3 hours for ice cream, or God forbid can't get ice cream at some point, or can't come to us something natural at some point, then I think that we've got, we have all as a community have lost. And so I think what we're seeing right now is something that we as a board at some point have to spend some time talking about and pay attention to. So that's number two. Number three, Historical Commission on, I think it was Monday or sometime last week, they approved a historical tax credit application for 5 Surfside. In order to get a historical tax credit, you cannot be owner operated. You have to be a business. You have to be commercial. And so, and then I was sort of surprised at that. And I know how they work, how the tax credits work, and it's fairly substantial. If you do $1 million of approved expenses, you can make $200,000 worth of tax credits, which you sell for almost $200,000. So you're basically can be buying you can be buying and renovating a property for free. Well, if this is happening to properties that have, currently have year-round residents who are leaving and they're turning into rental properties, that is something that we should, as a board, be looking into and discussing as well. The Historical Commission approved it, HDC approved it, and they had I think they have to because they were doing it historically appropriate. But I think there's a bigger policy question for us as a town is, do we want our federal and state, do we want to be writing letters of support, or do we want to be putting, into our master plan that we're discouraging this, or do we want to be writing letters against it from the town as something that's not good because we are struggling for housing? And so I think it's something that at some point, has not a lot of them have happened. It's a handful, but if people figure this out and figure out the incentives and the money that's available, it could be a lot of them. And unfortunately, it could be a lot of the historic buildings. And this was a building right across from the school that was an old farmhouse that right across from where corner of Surfside and Vesper, right across from the school. So I think, no one would have thought that it would be, that would be there. And so I just think that's something for us to think about and to bring forward again in the future. Thank you.
Thanks, Matt. Brooke?
So the Affordable Housing Trust met yesterday. We had a long meeting, did a lot of work. There are a couple things I wanted to point out. The modular boxes have arrived, some of them for the first two buildings at 31 Fairgrounds, and they're going to have a set date next Tuesday. So houses going up, which is very exciting. The Richmond Lottery application date for the new rentals that were subsidized by the trust under the Wildflower Acceleration Program. The lottery closed. The lottery is going to be happening today. I think it got delayed because of a technological problem, but there were 180 qualified applicants for 16 units.
16?
Yeah. No, it's 12 that are going to be built now, but they're lotterying the next 4 as well. So in this lottery, they're going to line up. So they'll be pulling the names, and then they go through a landlord vetting process, and then the final selection is done as per DHCD. We talked about a request for proposals for the small property in Amelia Drive that the trust owns. And so we're going to start that process for development there. And then I think the most interesting thing that happened is we have the Covenant Formation Assistance Program, which is a loan program to homeowners who want to investigate the creation of a covenant lot on their property. And we had 2 properties that had utilized that loan that got converted to covenant houses, and we approved closing cost assistance on the acquisition of those covenant homes. So the pipeline that we've created through these small loan programs is working, and that is extremely exciting to us on the trust. So I wanted to share that.
Well done.
Yeah. And this money gets recycled through, so it comes back and goes out to another applicant.
Oh, that's great.
I had another family call me about tertiary today, and I explained it. So I think some of these things are out there, but they're not all the way out there. Mm-hmm. And they were thinking of it as for their son. So their son could build a place for himself. So.
Yeah, if I may, I think it's the thing that came up that I've sort of been talking about quite a bit is people's awareness of the qualified family member exemption under the covenant program as an opportunity for people to downsize. And so by example, if I'm in a house that's too large for me as I'm aging and my lot can't be subdivided, I can create a covenant house, move into it, be exempt from the income and asset limits because I'm a qualified family member, and sell the house to someone else, maybe to a community land trust when we have one. But it's an opportunity for seniors to downsize themselves into a smaller house or to create a covenant lot and draw some equity out of their property to help pay their ongoing life expenses. Mm-hmm. So I want everybody to know about those possibilities as well.
Thank you, Brooke.
Mm-hmm.
I just had a couple things, just more comments. Matt, you sent around an email inquiry you got somebody in the public about the taxis. The taxi rates are going up June 1st and not before that. So I just want to make sure everybody knows, and the taxi drivers, everyone knows they're not going up until June 1st. I do want to say the corner of Washington Street and Francis looks great, and I'll be kind of keeping an eye on it and just seeing how people cross pedestrians and bicycles. Just because we did a lot of work on it, we think we know, but what human behavior sometimes is different. So I'm just going to be walking through there, watching, and just see how it goes. But it looks nice and it seems safe. And next week is also a smaller agenda week. It's just how it's working out, and I'm sure things will build up later. So if there is something that we wanted to talk about as a board, let me know by tomorrow. So nothing that the staff has to, prepare, but sometimes it's nice for us just to talk. So, but it's another short agenda next week. That's all I had.
When will we discuss short-term rental? We received information.
It'll be an update next week.
Okay,
Yeah, this tomorrow at 4:00 is the very first pre-meeting
right. Okay.
of just the 2-2 of the chair.
Right.
But then the next week, Denise will give us an update. Okay, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, that ended. at 6:07.
Jason, it's Melissa.
Oh.
It's Melissa. I'm here. I joined a little late, but
I
just
didn't
for
even see
roll
it,
call,
sorry.
I'm here and I vote to adjourn. That's okay. I just wanted
Okay,
you to
sorry
know
about that.
I joined the
Do we
last
need to
little bit.
redo it by roll call?
That's okay.
No, it's all right.
Thank you, Melissa. Sorry about that.
That's okay. Have a good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
No.